Hi, my name is Eileen Zaba, and I'm here to talk about two of my favorite subjects. One is health and the other one is mental health. I'm going to have a discussion with Therese, who will open your minds and your hearts and give you a peek into her life and her struggles with a mental illness called bipolar affective disorder. I would like to introduce Therese. She is a wonderful lady who's going to give us a peek into her life and share some of her struggles with bipolar affective disorder. Therese, I'm wondering if you could share your educational background with us.
I am a nurse. I trained at SciAS Kelsey with my sister at the same time. She's an ER nurse at St. Paul's Hospital. And I went on in my education receiving a Bachelor of Nursing degree from the University of Lethbridge, and then a PhD in thanatology, the study of death and dying in Scotland, in the city of Edinburgh.
Okay, can you share with us a little bit about how bipolar disorder has affected your life, how you discovered that you had this disorder, and what it's done?
I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in Edinburgh. The disease is in our family, so it wasn't all that surprising, but it did throw me for a loop, and I had to be taken out of the research part of it, and being hospitalized once and then twice, and things settled down. But what the disease did for me was the ride up and down of the mood swings. Have since learned how to read patterns of the disease and work with it on an hourly, day-to-day basis.
With the depression part of bipolar, because my understanding of bipolar is you have the highs and the lows. And you have bipolar type 1, correct?
2.
Bipolar type 2, so you have more of the lows than the highs.
Yes.
And so you get a little bit of the high, but a lot of times you're in despair and hopeless with depression, is that correct?
Absolutely. Clinical depression that has to be treated by medication. Back in Scotland, the mood, the hypomania, was that part of the bipolar spectrum where I got caught out, and ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, shock treatments had to be done to change that. Back in Scotland and here in the city as well. And I know that there are a lot of risks in that kind of therapy, but you just want to feel good again, and it doesn't matter how that mood is achieved.
So what has happened with your life? You had a promising, wonderful career with working on the end of a PhD. What has happened since?
Well, I received the PhD, and I was happy about that. And in returning to Canada, life was about the struggle of living with the depression. And, there have been so many periods of depression, right into clinical depression and suicide thoughts, yes. Suicide attempts, relatively few, but I know that side of it. And, so you want to move to a higher mood, but you get stuck in hypomania and the ECT. It was like having a bull in a pen, and you couldn't go anywhere because you were restricted by all of that.
Can you tell me what are some of the tools that you have used from your tool bag that have helped you to cope with all of this?
Periods of employment over the years. These jobs help maintain a more balanced life by the routine of daily activities that we all know about and do. Giving an ongoing purpose in life, a reason to get out of bed each day. We all need that. Earning wages is the intrinsic reward. Receiving the paycheck motivates to continue onwards. And then you're on a more level bent, and you're more a participating member of society, really.
So having a purpose within our society and fitting in somewhere is very important to your
Yes.
recovery.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me how you think family, friends, and even healthcare professionals can make a difference in your world? What do we have to do? What can we do differently to help?
Family, friends, healthcare professionals like you can be supportive during an active phase of the disease by staying less in contact with me than more. Ringing me every second or third day, not one at a time, or my contacting you, because it takes about 3 weeks to a month where you burn off that mood change and get back in your groove.
It's important when you're in hospital or under treatment that people give you the space to be able to deal with the hospital and the treatment program and your treatment team. And when you're coming out of the hospital and your mood is a little more stable, what then?
Life is worth living again. And you can make contact with that relative and make up for it like we do a couple of times a day we speak. It's just that there is no movement in that place and time. And even though you're hospitalized, there's a lot of people around and all of that gives you something to do in some way, just observing. During these times, and the majority now these days in this decade has been that the mood changes are managed at home, which is preferable. Physically and psychologically put on a happy face and get back into the swing of things. It just takes time wherever the disease is taking me in a particular day, because sometimes getting through 1 hour at a time is a real challenge. And so I feel fortunate that I am able to mostly manage the disease at home with my psychiatrist's involvement, and for the others that need the hospital, it's there for them.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was my pleasure to work and
Thank you.
talk with you.